So I was actually talking with a client, and a client asked me, what exactly it is that I would like to do and want to do, etc. And then I realized when clients are asking me these things that it's not apparent to people, right? And then uh, I can see why that is because it's not 100% apparent to me. Kind of, what would you say you do here is the bottom line, right? And for me, that's an interesting question overall. I've answered a lot on this channel and before exactly what it is that I do and what I've done in my career, my past accomplishments, past roles, etc. But past accomplishments and past roles aren't what you do, right? And then so within that, to me overall, uh, where I'm at, I'll answer this question like very specifically and directly, right? So where I'm at with my career overall, I never got into IT and stayed in IT for the love of it overall, just being flat out honest, right? Especially for the last decade or so, I went through a very lengthy custody dispute, and then within that, you need money in order to finance lawyers and things like that. And then so I have for about a decade or so felt like IT is kind of more of a golden handcuffs. It's they're a big money pit that's always there, right? It's here's this big pool of money that you can always access anytime. It's a crutch, and for a long time I learned and I started to despise that crutch. Very honestly, right? Like Kevin O'Leary to me states it best from Shark Tank, where if you're he flat out says consultants are very highly paid mediocre people, and I felt that a lot, right? I internalized that and understood he was speaking to me within that, right? Often, and so uh, for a lot of reasons overall, I never liked that role, that mindset, being in those positions. I talked about this with a client today too, right? The number one thing that I hate, and maybe it's a secret, a dirty secret within consulting is that every consulting agency under the sun is going to have you bill between, if they're a very good agency, they're going to have you bill 40 hours per week. If they're a bad agency, they're going to have you bill 50 hours per week. None of those agencies are going to expect you to be working 40 hours per week on client work, but it will, or 50, but you will be billing 40 to 50 hours of client work. How exactly that works out and where that comes out in the end, I guess that's the consulting secret. But I hate and have always hated those things, right? To me, it's a lot of stress, and you pay for those types of things with stress. And so I would rather not pay for stress. It's kind of where I'm at, right? I found, I kind of, I don't know how it goes for most people, but for me, it was, I was in my 30s, and my 30s were good. And then all of a sudden I woke up and I was 40. And then it's, just different, right? And then it hits you when that happens, and when you go through that, and then it's just different perspective. And then so for me, it's I would rather take the easiest route possible. It's I want to earn, and also earn doing what I like doing and not exert excess energy. That's kind of where all of my focus comes down to and boils down to, right? And then so within that, I work all the time, right? I'm kind of a workaholic, and so I'm always doing something on that end, but I'm doing what I like to be doing. And then so answering this question then very specifically, right? Because I still haven't answered the question very specifically what exactly it is that I do. So a majority of my current income flat out comes from a majority of my current income right now is coming from my book business, just answering that a 100% honestly. And then so if you are interested, if you have a software application or you're interested in a software application, and you are interested in a book for that software application, there's a high chance that you're paying me money somewhere within that equation, just being honest. And that works out very well for me. And then, like, so I've gotten to be very good and proficient at that, right? Like, it's a publishing. And very honestly, I like that business overall, and I have built it up with the very honest framework being that my ultimate and my favorite business that I could ever have, if I could choose anything to do for a business whatsoever, it would be people just mailing me a check every month and I don't do anything, right? If I could do that, that would be the best business ever. I don't know how to make money doing exactly that, but so I work backwards from that, right? And then so working backwards from that, I don't have to do a lot for my book business, and people send me checks every month. And that's how it works. So very specifically, I like that aspect and how that works. From there, I have lots of other ancillary sources of smaller income, like this channel, for example, and other things, but none of them add up to near the amount of income as my book business, just putting it flat out there. And then the second thing that I do is I focus on consulting as well. I was for a while entertaining a third avenue, which would be like partnership opportunities within like AI spaces and like AI products. I'm going to be very clear and upfront with this. Like I don't want to partner with anyone in the AI space. I don't want to sell AI products, etc. I'm very happy with my research role within that, which pays me almost jack, being flat out honest. But it's the avenue that pays me the least and the avenue that I work the most on. But it's the most personally fulfilling to me, and it's the most personally fulfilling to me that I'm doing just my research, right? I'm researching and doing what I want to do every day. When I come and I'm hit with like different projects and different angles, oftentimes it will be like one aspect of something that I find cool. But what I find cool most of all, just flat out on, is being able to focus on every single part of it. And then very honestly, like I like my voice, my independent voice within that, right? I'm not willing to sell it. Is like the flat out like bottom line within that, right? So then what do I do as far as consulting, like flat out? Like my favorite consulting role that I have currently and that I'm working with opportunities in the realm of is fractional CTO. Like that's kind of where I'm at with my career, right? I have at this point 25 plus year career. When I'm like being flat out honest, like so like the job market, right, to me and how it works is you earn and you keep earning and you grow your job until you're about 35. If you're in my position, you start like losing on those ends. And I like I'll tell you flat out how it happens. Like for me, I cut out 10 years of my resume every single time that I apply for a job, right? Like I do, and I have for a long time now. Just 10 years gone, right? And like that's the like on like 10 years of my best experience because like everyone like a lot of people, right, that's my experience with like the big like the magnificent seven, right, like that, like for big corporations, Apple, Intel, HP, Dell, name whichever one you want out of those, like that's the experience that I'm cutting out, right? And I cut it out because it ages me if I include it. And then so that's where I find myself applying for roles and things like that. And so I'm not a fan of that overall. Fan of like having and working more with lots of small companies and small entities like on their own cool projects and that are very unique and they're very far removed, very honestly, from AI. I like that, right? Like I like that working with a small company that is that they have a niche and their focus isn't AI, right? Their focus is whatever their niche is, and AI just happens to be a part of that if they want it to be a small part, but it's more likely that they want a fractional CTO for their overall systems, right? And then like that is just far better and more appealing to me than anything else across the board. Just putting that out like as honestly as I can. Though, so like I'm pursuing number one, my publishing business, like I mean, just honestly, and then like I don't talk about that honestly because there's no reason to like publicly talk about it, but I have it, right? So if you are, if you want to know anything about that, I can answer any questions that you would want around that particular industry. Secondarily, from there, I focus on my research and AI research and everything that I put out with regards towards like this channel and everything that I would roll into that, even though it again pays the least overall. And then the third aspect is the consulting, which pays the most, right? Which is like why I kind of always have to have that in there. Like if I'm doing something that is taking a lot of my time and it's paying the least, I need something else to like buoy that, right? And then so that's where the consulting comes in, and it definitely helps me dramatically on that end, very honestly. And then so all those things combined, that's kind of where I sit. And then I'm comfortable in that arena, right? Like my goal isn't to build, like flat out, my goal is the antithesis at this point of building Amazon. And like I look at it from that very specific mindset and mentality. I guess like the last question within that to answer and to ask is like, why exactly do I do the research and open source everything that I do, right? It's for that very specific reason, because to me, like the internet or AI as it is right now, and where we're at with AI, I remember a time, because I'm a dinosaur, where it was like the internet 1.0, right? Before all of these bells and whistles and social media and Amazon and all of it took over the internet. And it was a much better place than it is now. It's a much better world than it is now. And then within that, there was a lot of like not really, people didn't know what the future held within that, right? Like, oh yes, like the internet 2.0 sounds cool, let's go ahead and just give all of that and turn all of that over to Amazon, why not? Yeah, like social media sounds cool, let's go ahead and just turn all of that over to Facebook, why not? And then, well, now like we know the why not, right? And I don't want to live in the world of like, hey, let's just turn over all over the AI to these same companies. Nah, bro, like that's the exact opposite of what I want overall. Like I will fight against that world. And then so that's like flat out kind of like my exactly why I do what I do on the research end devoted to this channel overall. So hopefully this video gives you a good explanation of what would you say you do here. Try to answer it as honestly as I possibly could in this. And then I generally, don't answer these types of questions overall. So hopefully this video answers that for you. Like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.